The Scotsman has returned. Yes, this was an episode I was waiting for the Scotsman to come and return, and he finally has. And it was only for a few minutes, but it was pretty cool. So it started off with all these Scots people gathering up and going to charge at Aku's castle, and there are a lot of them. It's like Braveheart or something. So they go and charge at his castle, but then Aku goes and finds out, and he pretty much maybe figures out that maybe if he goes and attacks them, maybe it'll get him out of his depression. So he goes up and then charges in this big ball, then crushes all of the soldiers there, except for the Scotsman and his daughters. So he goes up and then pretty much just encounters the Scotsman himself, and the Scotsman, who is now all old, is pretty much just like, "You will not defeat the samurai!" And Aku's just like, ugh. And then, after that, he just goes and pulls his fire at him and just destroys the Scotsman. I'm like, no! He's okay. He's okay. He probably jumped out of the way. Nope. He's all skeleton, and then he turns to a bunch of dust. He's gone. And like, they didn't just kill him. They really didn't just kill him, did they? He can't be gone already. But he was gone. But a few minutes after that, after he left, all the daughters were going to go and say they want to avenge him, but then his ghost came out of it. I'm like, how is he doing that? So he says it's pretty much like thanks to his sword, it's magic or something, but they're all happy, and they pretty much say that they're going to go and charge at Aku again with a new plan. So we then switch to Aku and Jack, who are still on the island, and Ashi is just pretty much having a talk with herself on the moon, imagining it's her mom, saying, why isn't she destroying the samurai? And she's just like, no, the samurai's good. And her mom's just like, you failed us. And after that, we then switch to the part where Jack's on this giant serpent from like the Avatar, and he's just pretty much like, come on. So they ride it through all the ocean, which is pretty cool. We get all these dolphins, and then they go under the water and get a pretty cool effect. So I like that scene. It was pretty cool. So we then go out, and then it goes back to the land, and Jack's just like, thank you for helping us. And the serpent just yells at them and then goes back into the water. I thought that was pretty funny. I don't know if it was supposed to be mad or just maybe saying thank you, but it was really funny. I like that little scene. So Jack says his farewell to Ashi and walks away. We then cut down to later that day where he's sitting by a fire and starting to have more hallucinations, and then he sees Ashi again. And she's just pretty much like, I want the truth. And Jack's like, go away, I already told you the truth. And she's like, no! They go back to fighting again, and Jack's like, okay, I'll tell you the truth tomorrow morning. And then she's just like, what? So we didn't get this little story from Jack where he pretty much tells how the sky was made, and it's pretty much involves this Mr. Sun and then his sister the Moon, and they just rode on this horse and they shot these arrows that made the stars. It was a little cute story. I liked it because we're not getting all these little cute stories like we did in the original, so I liked it. It was just a little tribute to the original series. It was just very nice to see something like that in the new Samurai Jack. So the next day, Jack goes and shows Ashi around and shows her how Aku has tormented the world. He shows her this big field was getting tongue-tied. What was once trees, but only one is left. Then they go to this city where Jack goes and steals these clothes, and he looks all weird, and Ashi's just like... I mean, I was like that too. I'm like, yeah, he looks weird. He's not gonna wear that throughout the whole series, isn't he? I hope not. But they go around, and Jack shows her around, and then we see this big guy talking to this one guy, and just like, my town was destroyed, and where's my new place? And then this other guy shows him this village with all these kids, and he's just like, I can take that. And Ashi is just shocked, I mean, who wouldn't be? Why would you go and destroy a village with a bunch of kids there? So, after that, we cut to this part where these weird-looking blue creatures, they kind of look familiar. I've seen them, I think, somewhere before, or something similar to them, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. They're all blue, and they have this blue hair that looks like it's connected to them. They look really strange, but he's just like, "Oh, Jack, you're here to save us. They took the children." And I'm just like, not what's going on. So they go and try to save the children, and they're pretty much all brainwashed from this weird sound that's going on. So Jack and Ashi separate to go and try to find it. Ashi tries to go and find the sound, and Jack tries to go and distract the little kids. So Ashi tries to go and find the sound, but she gets trapped by all these things that get her in, and then she's confronted by this guy who's in this robot suit, and he's just like, "I got you now." Meanwhile, Jack is getting his butt kicked by these things who won't let him go. They grab him, they put him to the ground, or they're just beating him up really well. But it looks like it's all going to be the end, but then Ashi just goes all crazy and just goes and kicks that guy's ass. That scene was really cool. I'm just like, yeah, get him, get him, get him, get him! Ashi is just starting to become one of my favorite characters. Just that scene was really, really cool. She kicked his ass to Timbuktu. It was really, really cool. And then he exploded. I'm like, well, you deserve it, okay? Sorry, but you deserved it. So she destroys the thing, and then all the kid blue creatures are like, ah! And then fall to the ground, and I'm guessing Jack thought they died, because he's like, no! And then starts having these hallucinations again, and then we see that swordsman who's on the horse again, and he's like, it's time. And Jack's like, I know. And he goes and walks away with him. I'm just like, what's he doing? Because the only thing I can think of is he's going to go and commit suicide. That's what this guy wants him to do. So I don't know what they're going to do, but that's the thing I'm thinking about right now. So Ashi comes from the corner and she sees all the blue creatures. She thinks they're dead for a moment too, but then all of them wake up and she's all happy. She's like, we did it, Samurai! Samurai? And she can't find him, and she's just like, Samurai Jack! And the episode ends right there. I'm like, that can't be the end. I mean, it just felt like a very short episode. I didn't want it to end there. But from the preview of the next episode, it looks like it's pretty much going to focus on Ashi trying to find Jack and telling that she's changed, she's on his side now, and she thinks that he's in real big trouble. So who knows what's going to happen to him, if he's going to commit suicide or give himself to Aku or something. Whatever the case is, let's just hope Ashi goes and saves him. But this was a really good episode. We got some pretty good moments between Ashi and Jack again. We got all those really cool scenes from the Scotsman, even though he died, but he came back as a ghost and he's planning part 2 of his attack, so that's good. And then Aku came back, of course, so, and of course, Ashi kicks ass. Just, that was a really cool scene. I liked that. Just, she was getting all tortured out, and she's like, that was probably my favorite scene of the episode. So, this was episode 5, and now we have 5 episodes left. So, who knows what we're going to go from here, but so let's just hope it gets much, much better. But I honestly can't see it getting worse because it's Samurai Jack. It really can't get worse from here.